Hey everyone, so this is one of my first videos based on all the parts I showed on one of my previous videos where I showed a bunch of printers, PCs, monitors and whatnot. Now all of this stuff here is pretty much video game stuff. I picked all this stuff up from some guy who does repairs and whatnot, and he just had this stuff lying around, so got disk drives and a couple of motherboards, some peripheral boards here encased in metal. So I'm gonna start scrapping this stuff and tell you what I would do with some of this stuff, and at the end of it I'll make a few piles and see how much money there is in all this stuff. So these little guys here, they're like little card readers found in some of the older PlayStation 3 consoles. So if you just pop out this metal casing, pretty easy to take out. You'll see there's a nice decent peripheral board in here. You see we have some tantalum chips here, a few monolithic, some IC chips. We have these card reader slots, and look at if you look at the edge here, all the pins, they're all gold, and all the gold goes all the way until here. So the pins are quite long, some good gold. So for someone who collects gold for processing and whatnot, these are pretty good. Usually these, I just put them in the peripheral board pile, and if I'm not too lazy, I'll remove the tantalum and small monolithics, but there's not much on this board that I use personally, so I just usually just scrap them. So I have a few of these, so let me just pop these out quickly. And they go pretty easy, nothing too complicated with the metal casing. They just pops out pretty easy. And like I said, these are considered peripherals, so they're worth about $1.50 a pound. So it's some value if you're not into the whole refining for gold and whatnot. I don't do that personally because I don't have the time. And also there's a whole learning curve to it, to learn what to use and how to use them with how much amount of chemicals and whatnot. So I'm not too keen on that stuff. So you have a nice little fan here that came out of a system, little piece of wire, the fan 20 cents a pound, and they're almost a pound. I've done the math trying to remove this to get the copper and whatever, and just not worth the time and effort to get all of this out and removed and get the copper inside. So just put it in your copping bearing motors. Piece of metal here, nothing special, just a bunch of scrap. And as I'm talking, I'm making two little piles, and at the end I'm just gonna tell you guys what all of this is worth. Second here. Cut the wire off the fan. Get a little bit of extra money there. Here's another messed up Bluray drive. Nothing too special in here. If you're willing to take everything apart, there's a little motor here, another little motor here, and this is also a magnet. Not sure if someone could do anything with that. If you open it up, you get another little motor here with a little sensor. If I knew this stuff was actually working, I would harvest it and sell it online somewhere. But I know this guy, he just gives me the garbage of the garbage, so there's no point of selling that as working, because I know it's no good. So that goes in the garbage. And another drive here. Pop this guy out. So So this one's a little more complete, but again, non-working. Now, what's interesting here is, well, you have the ribbon. The ribbon, great for people who do gold, because all the tips are gold, and I think, I'm not sure how deep the gold goes into this, but I know some of these ribbons have gold going in up to a certain depth here about. I'm not sure if this specific ribbon does, but I know some of the other ones found in the PlayStation 3 do. So that might be an idea for someone to maybe find a way to melt the plastic and keep the wiring inside, maybe through incinerating them like people do with IC chips. Maybe throw this in there too. But I usually just cut the tips. I do this because it's easy. You cut it and then you sell them on eBay for someone who knows how to refine this stuff. So again, you have another nice little drive there. It's a nice little ribbon. That's part of my wire section. Then we have this nice little board. I usually leave these as is. The only thing I pop out is this guy here, and I sell them in the flat pack / IC chip category on Board Sort. They're great and they give great prices. I don't bother taking other things out just because selling the board itself as a peripheral, you get about $1.50, $1.35. I think right now it's about $1.35. You see these little IC chip things. They pop out really easy. You just bend the board and they pop out. So you should do the same thing when you get peripheral boards like this. Peripheral boards similar to this, gaming consoles, TV receivers, sound receivers. You can find them a bunch of places. And these specifically have quite a bit of monolithic capacitors. What I do with these is I take one of these and just pop them out like that. That's for the bigger ones. For the smaller ones here, they're kind of hard to see. I usually use a wood chisel and scrape them off completely. But for these bigger ones, come out very easy. Just grab, twist. Any type of plier would do. These I find are really good because of the needle point. You should definitely take out the monolithics on all your peripherals and even motherboards. I haven't run into anyone that complains about having them removed when I sell the boards, so I do it, and I get like in one of my other videos, I get about $4 an ounce on those things. I recently saw a video where the guy gets about $80 per pound, which is not that bad. It's a little more than what I get on these, but definitely take them out. They're worth it. Definitely worth more than $1.50 per pound on peripheral boards. Let's see. Another drive. And actually I forgot to mention on these drives, on these Bluray drives, the laser on these are pretty good because you get gold here. You can remove this and sell it as a gold tipped connector or refine it yourself. There's a little small peripheral board, some wiring, that's pretty good. I know the shell of these lasers are aluminum. But another fun thing, they have a diode. Not sure if you can see it. There's a diode here that looks, when you remove it, looks like this. You can see there's all sorts of gold on it. Connectors are gold. Kind of hard to see on the camera. I can't get it to focus, but there's definitely gold on these little guys, and I remove them all. I keep the bad lasers and I remove them. But for the video, for the purpose of the video, because you can't really take those out and measure them and see how much they're actually worth, I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna sell it as is, as a scrap metal, and it's gonna be part of my scrap metal pile. So we get a little Wi-Fi board here, a little piece of metal on it, nice little peripheral board. What I do with these, I take out these two chips and sell them in my IC chip pile. Also has some gold here on this little gold connector, gold here. A lot better than the card reader, I find, on this one. With a little bit more value, but yeah, here you go. So again, look, pretty easy. Snaps off. And it's a little IC chip there. Get about $5 a pound approximately, more or less. So it's worth taking these guys out, because they come out so easy. Here you go. Here's another part from a Bluray. Gold tipped wire here, little motor, whatnot. Oh, look at this guy. Little board full of rust. Someone dropped this in water. Definitely doesn't work. Again, just bend and remove the chips and you're good to go. Now look at this IC chip. This one has nice gold inside. If you look, just rip that piece of metal out. There's gold here, gold there. Some more gold here. I'm sure there's plenty of gold on this little chip. Ooh, and look at this, a nice hunk of aluminum and copper. I know a lot of people like to get this tubing off, but it just takes too long. I don't bother. I just put it in my copper / aluminum heat sink pile. Take out the plastic. The rest goes in the pile, the aluminum pile there. You'll have more of those little boards, Wi-Fi boards. They also come most of the time with this little board and wire, so you get some more wire and whatnot. More fans, tons of steel. All of this is metal, steel, whatever you want to call it. Fan. The fan, you can sell them, but it's not worth the hassle. Unless it's one of the higher quality fans that sell for maybe $15. These don't sell for much. And they're hard to sell, and they take time to sell, and they're just going to take up space. And you'll make, I think at the end of it, after fees and shipping and whatnot, you'll make just as much, or maybe a little less, a little more than what you would do, what you would get from scrapping it, but it's just not worth the time. So scrap these. Again, another motherboard, whatnot, another little Xbox board. So I'm gonna separate all this stuff and do a little count do a little weighing, and see how much money is in all of this stuff once I separate it. So, like I said, at the end of the video, I'll have a little price sheet with how much weight of each piece I have, and we'll go from there. Like, subscribe. Hopefully you like the video, and see you guys soon.